Hi, good morning and welcome back to my channel. My name's Natalie and this channel's called So Stitch So Nat. Mainly cross stitch content. I don't normally say that, but it is. I have done an embroidery kit which I've not quite finished, and I do a bit of sewing. Admittedly, sort of normally FFOing or project bags. Nothing too big at the minute, and I have got some wool, but I've not knitted anything of late. In fact, I think I tried to start making a hat 2 years ago and that's not gone anywhere, so maybe not so much knitting. Hi, how have you all been? I think it's been 3 weeks since my last one, and I can't remember why I didn't record last week. I think I just wasn't quite feeling it, and I'm not entirely sure why. So apologies, but I'm here now. I am thinking of making them either every 3 weeks or 4 weeks, but we'll see how that goes. But at least one a month is the idea. So welcome if you're returning. Hello to any new subscribers. I've actually been watching two new channels this week. I'm trying to remember who shouted them out. It would have been a UK stitcher, and it's gone just like that. But it's Crafty Kate and Sally from Flossy Sews and Grows, so I've got the notes written down. Both UK stitchers. Katie does hand-dyed fabrics, which I'll be taking a look at this weekend, and Sally just mainly smalls, but like Barbara Anna, she does a lot of bunch needle and primitive, and they're both in Wales, which is quite a distance from me, because I'm like central England. And also Sew Me Sarah. I always watch Sew Me Sarah. Hi Sarah. And I'll talk about the new hashtag that's coming up for April later. Shall we? Well, actually, we are getting started, but Michele of Penny's Daughter Shares did a hashtag at the start of the year, thinking about hashtags, which was FFO Challenge 2023. I've got my February FFOs, but I've not done my March FFOs yet, so we seem to be a bit video behind on that. So my first FFO was the kit that we got as part of the Stitching Social, which was the Sea Spray Cottaege, and I stitched this up within 3 days of getting it, or starting it. I think I started it just before the call, just so it was a bit easier to follow, and that is what I've done. So just a basic hoop finish. The fabric on the back is Rose and Hubble. I don't have the name of the fabric line, that's the name of the designer. Rose and Hubble Fabrics, and it's just a blue check. And then the ribbon was out of a Trim It spring pack from Danielle, and I thought this went really well. I've put that on a piece of mountain board, and then tried to hot glue it, as my hot glue gun decided to give up the ghost. I have actually got a new one, but I've not used a new one yet. I did find it a bit easier than sewing the back on, but not convinced. Jury's out. I think it's fine for me, but I think if I was giving it as a gift, I probably would sew it on properly. So that is that one, and that's on a 14 count Adu with the kit DMC. And the other one I did, because I set myself a challenge of a minimum of 2 per month. This was also finished right at the start of last year, which is the Mill Hill Beads and Buttons Café Mocha kit. And I also bought the Mill Hill frame. Make sure I've got the right way up. I think it slid. So that is that one. So that was done with all the kit supplies. I inadvertently used the wrong thread to bead on some of the beans on the coffee beans, but I don't think it detracts from it, so I did it the same on the other side just to match up. And like I say, that's in a Mill Hill frame. Not too keen on that border there, and it did come with a back, so this is basically the piece of cardboard that was behind it when it came. So I've put a bit of black, cut to size a bit of black mount board, if I can get my words out, and then stuck the piece of card that was in it to hold that in place, and then just picture tape around the edge, and then it's got like a wooden dowel that you can stick in here. I need to get something so I can mount it on the wall. I think for the Halloween stitch I've got at the minute, which you'll see later on, I think I'll look at trying it just a regular 6x6 inch frame. There's no glass on this either, so yeah, we shall see. Yeah, I really love the colourways on here, it's really showing really well on there as well. So yeah, all the kit supplies on perforated paper. Another section that I wanted to bring back, which I think I used to do in my earlier Flosstubes, was a stitch from the past. I've been thinking about this for a while, and I've got a couple of pictures that used to hang in my great aunt's, I want to say living room, but it was more of, she had like one room for the best, the room at the back where she just used to sort of spend her like leisure time. So this used to hang in the wall, and this is something I stitched back in 1998 when I went off to uni. I vividly remember stitching it, and it's on a 14 count cream or ivory Ada. I think at the time I was mainly using Anchor, so it could be Anchor rather than DMC that's in there, and you could like mail order the charms long before, you know, the internet was a thing. So you could order the charms to sit in here. I never obviously ordered the charms, so I'm still happy with it. I'm not going to change it. It was framed professionally. It's got museum glass in it as well because it's not got the glare on it, so I wouldn't change it. And it reminds me of her as well. She absolutely loved all the flowers. And I think this was out of one of the magazines at the time, and I can't tell you the artist. I don't think they used to put them going back that far, but I could be wrong. But yeah, it would have been like, in a magazine from like, could be 97, 98. I don't think it was 99, but I could be wrong, because I would have given it to her for her birthday. So so that is that one. It's currently sort of squirreled away at the minute. It's not on the wall. Might have to change that. I've got two other pieces that were framed and put on the wall by her as well. So I'll show those in another video. Shall we? Oh no, I've got a finished object. No more FFOs. So And in terms of my March FFOs, I've got one that I can't show you yet, which was the professionally framed secret stitch that I've done, and I need to order some frames for some others. Although at the rate my Steel City Stitches March, it's called Madness, but I tend to refer to it as Mayhem. But yeah, that is going quite well. I think I'm going to get a few finishes out of that, so I might even make some cushions from that. I'm not sure yet. But my finish for the big finish for February, the board, you saw it as almost finished last time, which was Cross Stitch Nation by Heartstring Samplery. I'll just get the chart, which is this one. I think I was saying last time my endive is quite different, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with faces and hair and what have you. I want to order a frame for this one actually. It's a bit tight on the fabric because I started in the wrong place. So that is my finish. Sorry, it's not iron. So yeah. So I tried to get my hair colouring to be that one, and then just picked random. So yeah, really happy with that. Want to get it framed. I quite like the dark frame that's on here. I will do a Instagram post. I don't know if I've done one already yet with what I've used on there. Most of it's called for, like I say, apart from the faces and hands, and I've just realised he's got no hands at the minute, so he needs some hands. So I need to go back to my notes to see what colour that was. So yeah, so we've got all the face and hands were done in DMC, and then the rest is in overdyed, apart from the writing because I couldn't get hold of the right colour. But I will put a conversion up on Instagram. If anybody wants that, just email me on my email address below. If you look down below the video, there's a more, and you'll be able to see it there. So that is that one. And the reason for changing the skin tone and not keeping them all the same was because I think they were, yeah, I think there was literally, it was one colour used for all, and we're not all one colour, and I just wanted to show a bit more diversity in the stitching, and so I chose to do that. I'm very happy with it. Alright, next is onto my sampler book. So I'll call these little mini finishes because it feels like they are each month. I have started the letter I wanted to do for March, but I haven't picked, I literally started it right at the end of February, sorry itchy nose, but I haven't picked it up in March because I've been busy with the March Madness. So we've got the picture of what it looks. It would have been, no, she's converted it, so it'll be the converted picture. So this is Erica Michael's sampler book, and it's D for diamond stitch, and the diamond stitches are the grass in this one. And this is what I was telling you last time, I'd stitched on the wrong side, but it's staying like it. I was far too into it by the time that came through, or I realised that. And this is on a 32 count Belfast linen vintage sky blue, which This is the back of the vintage sky blue. I'll show you on my back now, which in some places looks a bit messy actually, but that's what it should look like. Lots of like varied mottling. It's a printed fabric. And I've done my own DMC conversion on that. I think if I'd chosen again, I might have chose either a slightly paler or slightly darker yellow on the daffodil. Because I don't know if you can pick it up on camera. They are two different colours, but they're quite close to each other. I'm fine. I'm not changing it. I like it just the way it is. So like I said, I've started the next letter, which is E. Just grab the picture. And this is on a, what is it on? 32 count linen, Belfast linen in lemon yellow. And it's still in the heat, so apologies, with a thread. The fabrics are meant to be the same, but the picture that they supplied looks slightly darker for some reason. So that's what I was working to, and this is what I've done so far. I think when the conversion that she'd put in the chart for the DMC, for the green, I didn't like. It wasn't working, so I changed it up. And I think that's the same for some of the others where I didn't feel it quite felt right on the fabric. So at some point, I think I've made all the notes. There will be probably a separate video with all the details. But yeah, got a long way to go yet. Yeah, the browns are different. One's quite darker than the other. So yeah, part way through that. Once you get into them, they're a real quick stitch, but it's just spending the time. And I'm finding my eyes are actually getting more used to the 1/1, which is not a bad thing. Or the project that I've got in a Still City Mayhem, Still City Stitches Mayhem, is on 40 count, and I'm finding that easier as well. I'm not saying I'm going to be on 40 count, especially not at this stage. I'm quite like my 32, a little bit of 36 and a little bit of 40. I think that's the range that I'm in at the minute. 28 feels a bit too big, but I'm happy with 14 count Ada depending on the project. So yeah, still quite happy to use Ada. So I really do float between Ada linen and even weave in the different counts, but just not really tiny stitching. Unless you count 25 count Lugana 1/1, but you'll see that in a minute. Onto whips, although I have just shown you a whip because of the sampler book letter E. So my first one I'm going to show you today is Beach Bliss. Yes, Danielle, I've actually got it out. Haven't seen it on your channel for a while either, but she does some amazing full coverages, and she did a lovely horse for her daughter for Christmas as well. So if you're not following her, you should be. I've got all the hanging threads as well, so apologies. So I've done another two. I'm happy if I showed you the cover picture. She's Amy Stewart Beach Bliss. I always get it the wrong way around, so I just question myself. And it's a Story Keep version. And I'm doing it 1/1 on 25 count full cross. After restarting it, I think this is the third time I restarted it. And it's on Easy Grid. It's wide got 25 count Lugana. Using the Royal Rose method. So I think I'm quite happy to sort of just tinker along with it at the minute. And put a few stitches in don't know how long that actually took me. I think it might have been a couple of stitchy sessions to get it in. It just depends on how much confetti there is, I think, as to how fast you can get through it. But the threads that I previously cut, which are all DMC, as I'm going along I'm cutting in half again, because you really don't need as long a length if you're stitching one over one on that count. Whereas if I was using 14 count Ada, I literally just split the DMC into 8ths and then do the loop start method, which you can't do on this, although I have seen a video, I've not tried it out yet, from Needlebug. I saw on another channel linked, which is loop start with one strand, and I think it might have been on, could have been Belushi Stitches channel, and I'm never gonna if it's not, I'm never gonna remember. I will link the Needlebug video below, in case you want to try it out yourself. And if you're not familiar with loop start, I suggest, I think she's got a video as well. There's loads of videos on that. I think as for the cross stitch, have got loop start video as well. Game changer. Don't have to worry about catching your thread underneath. Yeah. Right. Oh, it's showing somewhere else as well, like if it's dark fabric on, if it's a dark thread on a light fabric. Okay, so my next one I'm going to show is What Remains, which is part of the Mother Love Sew, which I've just seen on Instagram, I think it was this morning, that the round on Penny Daughter shares Steel City Stitches Arch Madness. This one, the round for finishing, which is Blackbird Designs, What Remains. And I'm obviously the slow one out of all of us, so I think I'm one of the ones that haven't finished. I know Sony Sarah's framed hers. I'm not sure about the others that were on the hashtag originally. I got this as a kit from Traditional Stitches when they were doing it as part of their 25th wedding anniversary. And also not ironed, so apologies. I've got threads. And I'm stitching this in memory of my mum, which is how the hashtag came about. Sorry, it's got a big hoop mark in it. But you can see I've made a lot of progress. I think I've finished off the border. I've put all this border in. I've finished the flower. I've got some petals on. I've finished this bit over here. No, that bit over there. Now I can't remember if I've made that border meet yet. But I've definitely sort of filled in all the Samir and crosses in here. I don't think there's any birds left to go in the border. They're all stitched. I've got the centres in the flowers. So I've literally got what the wording at the bottom of the vase, the peacock, yeah, another couple of birds, another couple of plants, and then I'm done. And then just my personalisation as well, which I'll be putting on there, which I haven't quite decided how I'm putting it on there yet, but the peacock's definitely going where it's going. It's just whether I move this one slightly to get it in. But yeah, loving it. And it's stitched in silk, which is my first time using silk, on a Weeks 37 count straw, which I'm not sure if it's the old Weeks or not, but it's very sort of floppy. It didn't endear me to buying another piece of Weeks fabric. And I'm just trying to remember the name of the To Die For fibres. So yeah, the goal is to get this finished, fully finished, by the end of June, if not before. So I'm well on the way. I had to force myself to put it down because I wanted to go and do the letters for the sampler book. Yeah, try and put in that hole. I ended up with a big pile in front of me, going from my house and expo. That was the silk stropping. My next whip, I think is going to be a UFO because I'm just not wanting to stitch it. And I think I pulled it out after the last video. Still wasn't feeling it at all. And I don't know what it is. It's a Temperature Stitch 3 by Christie's Corner. And it's available on Etsy. So we are now halfway through March, and I'm halfway through. Sorry, use board behind that. I'm halfway through January. The border's not in. And just, yeah, don't know what it is. So it's got highs and lows in. I didn't mind sort of like personalising it. I wanted to put the dinosaur in for my son's birthday. Didn't faze me, but every time I think about stitching, I'm like, no, don't want to do it. And you've got to stitch what you love, haven't you? And I'm not even sure where I'm up to in terms of recording the temperatures. The place that I was getting them from only keep them for sort of 2 weeks. Yeah, I've dropped out of that as well. So yeah, I'm going to call it a UFO for now. I'm unlikely to come back to it. But we shall see. There's quite a lot of DMC that's in there as well. I've got like a little wallet full of that. And then working threads there, because you don't need very much for each day. They're a bit scraggly. Yeah, the more and more I think about it, the more and more I'm convinced. No. So I think it's probably more than a UFO. Don't know what you call it when you then start frogging it out. Is it still a UFO? Is it dekitted? It's definitely abandoned, whatever it is. So next is Steel City Stitches March Madness. Oh, it's going to move that. The lighting seems to have changed all of a sudden. The light's not changed outside, it's snow out there. Sorry, I didn't say it's the 10th of March, Friday the 10th of March. It's around 10:30 by now, maybe 11. Yeah, so it's a really sort of like overcast day. I haven't got a nice picturesque snowy picture to insert, unfortunately. It's already started to turn to slush, which is basically the English snow that we get here. It looks really pretty, and then yesterday and today it's literally just automatically turned to slush, which is probably better because at least it's not slippy and icy, but it's still slushy and a lot of water. Normally what happens is if we get snow, it sticks around, it gets icy, and then it all melts at once, and then that causes other problems with flooding. So yeah, not great. Other countries are much more geared up for it than we are. So where's my board? Right, so you will see a sneak peek of what will go up tonight on Instagram. This is my grid matchup board. Can't think of the right word. So Christmas was the first round, which was a Jingle Bell wreath against Merry Christmas You Filthy Animal, which I showed last time. And then Halloween we've got 9 Lives and Halloween Night. And then sewing we've got Craft Supplies and Stitch What You Love, which is the 40 count project. And then Smalls, which is the seagulls from Scrap Water Scrapbook by Lindy Stitches. And then Can Do Attitude, which is a freebie from Silver Crink Samplers with my own conversion on it. So you can see I've already done all of that round there. I am up to currently, I stitched Merry Christmas last night. I've done a little bit on Halloween night this morning, but it'll go up later. So some projects are getting more time than others. It's just the way it's working out. You know, I wanted to participate. Some people have already got through to the end. I'm like, how did that happen? I'm not sure which way's up on this. Yeah, I think it's that way up. This is a Mill Hill kit, which is the Jingle Bell wreath. So just on perforated paper from the kit. I have put some beads on there already. I think it's quite bead heavy, this one. But it's little, so I can just hold it in my hand. No issue there. So yeah, that's that. And I'm just using the regular needle. I've not used a bead. I don't think I use a bead needle to put the beads on. Sometimes with the beads I'll go over the needle that you've got anyway. That just makes it easy, not switching between the two. And you're not stabbing your finger, which I have done numerous times. So that's Jingle Bell wreath. That didn't go through. Sorry, I just dipped up the zipper. So the one that I was working on last night, so this has got more progress than was last seen on Instagram. Oops. And this is by So Easy Patterns on Etsy. And I chose this on a 25 count Lugano 1/1 DMC, not quite called for, so that's where I'm up to. I need to decide on the white because it's meant to be 3865. I think I'm going to do B52 500. Oh, it was blank, I can't remember. It was one of, it definitely wasn't B52 500. I think that's what we need to use to make it show, but I've not tried to stitch that yet. And that'll get turned into a pillow, I think, for the Christmas tree, to go with the Broken Bags one that I did last year. Next is 9 Lives. Now this was out of Just Cross Stitch 2022. And I think I've just done all called for on that. I don't think I've changed anything. And it's on a 14 count, mine Ada. Also it's just a scrap. So yeah, that's that one. Funnily enough, I had recorded my video last time. I was editing it and getting it uploaded, and my Morti posted as well. And she's like, I'd like to do this. I'm like, oh, I'm doing that in a minute. Yeah, I think one long 60 session. Word. One session, and probably get it finished because I've got the cat to fill in, and then, alright, maybe more than one. There's quite a bit of back stitch as well, but yeah, it's a really easy stitch. Oh, I've got to do the border as well. That is actually Anchor 403, not DMC 310, so I have made a substitution. And the cat is stitched in 3 strands, not 2. I think the border's in 2, so it's quite a dense. It's quite a nice, good full coverage, very full coverage, very thick. Which is probably what we want in a cat. You probably don't want the white bits showing through. So yep, liking that. But that one didn't go through either. posted on Instagram on one of the posts that I was like, I'm really enjoying everything that I've picked this year. There's not one that I didn't enjoy. I think I was a bit hesitant last year about Stitch What You Love. I think that's what it was, where that came from. But since coming back to it, no problems. This is another Mill Hill beads and buttons, and this one was started last year. And I was, like I say, I was working on this morning, so it's got a bit more progress since it was last seen. This is Halloween, yeah, sorry I said that already, Halloween Night by Mill Hill. All the kit supplies, 14 count perforated navy paper, which I'm getting used to stitching navy on navy and black on navy. And then we've got the button to go on as well, which I didn't realise was stitched underneath, so the button's going to sit on top of that. So yeah, so that has gone through, and that's going up against Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal. Next one was sewing, and I chose Craft Supplies and Other Lies I Tell Myself by Contini on a 32 count Country Vintage Mocha with call for DMC except for the black, which is Anchor 403, and that's coming along nicely. So that gets stitched on tomorrow, so it should get quite a bit of progress on that. Yeah, there's a big block of black to do at the bottom, and then some more writing, and then all the like notions everywhere. I think one of the colours I've already finished using, yeah, which is the, oh no, I've got to finish the, I can't remember what that says, but it's the bit that goes here. So yeah, the colours are coming through. I thought the colour were a lot brighter on there, but they're a bit more muted, or prim, I think is how we normally refer to it. But yeah, loving it. I am loving it. So that went through. The other one that was in the group for that one was the four, which was the Stitch What You Love by Jeanette Douglas, which is this one. And the plan is to make it into like that notions tray. I haven't got the fabric for the outside bits of it yet. I don't want to get the stitch done. I think the last time you saw it, I still had a bunch of flowers to do and no words. That's where that one's up to. I did realise I'd made a mistake. The O and the T are half a stitch off. I'm not sure I'm going to change it. Although the fact that it's bugging me and I've mentioned it on here, I probably will change it, I think. Otherwise it's just going to bug me. Even though I don't think it detracts from it. So yeah, I think I will pick this up again after March Madness and get it finished this year. I've said it, there you go, I want it finished. So that's that one. Like I said, I started that one last year. The plan was to get down to 25 whips. I went below 25 whips and then I started 4 new things. 5 new things. It's not anymore. It's above 25, but not above 30. So I think that's my happy place, 25 to 30. I think it depends on the size as well. So my next one is Saltwater Scrapbook, Lindy Stitches, and that's part 2. And I'm doing the seagulls, which looks like, oh no, that's the wrong project. I'm doing it on a 32 count blue linen base I got, Murano, so it's not linen, it's even weave, and that's upside down. Oops. And that's where I've got to on that, so I'll get stitched on Sunday. So yeah, quite a long way to go, but I've measured out the border and then cut the fabric. So yeah, lots of white stitching. I'm not railroading, but I think they're laying okay at the minute. But yeah, quite a bit more to go. And that's just all in the Call 4 DMC. Not made any changes to that. And then last is the freebie one from Silver Creek Samplers, which is a Can-Do Attitude from this year. And it's on their website. If you just look up the free patterns on there. She's got some other ones as well. And I chose to do this on my Fabric of the Month club. I can't remember if it came last month. And I've done a colour conversion on it. So the fabric is a 32 count even weave fabric flare in pastel rainbow. You can see how much I've used. And that is from Lakeside Needlecraft here in the UK. And then I've used, instead of using the Call for either DMC or Gentle Arts, I've just done my own classic Colourworks conversion from my monthly club that I get. So that's that. So it just shows 3 colours in the same sort of colour family. So whereas the original was more blue, I've gone more purple. So I've got Aunt Marie's Violet, Blooming Crocus and Grape Pie. I think it'll work well once it's finished. And then I might just do a little flat fold or something, I'm not sure yet. So that's that one. Alright, where are we up to is the question. So yeah, Seagulls went through. Out of the Seagulls and the Can-Do Attitude. I've talked about my new start. So I've got haul plans, and as part of the new hashtag that Sarah's come up with, I can't remember if there was someone else you were doing it with, Sarah, so apologies. I think there is. I'll check back. I'll put it below. Which is Get Your Kit on Sale. She was showing all the kits that she's got, and I was like, there isn't going to be enabling here. Oh, I've got Victorian Charm. That's a kit. I haven't stitched on that this year. I haven't stitched on it very much at all. But I need some love. So I messaged him and said, oh, can you, rather than start something new, can you just use something you've got in you as a whip? And she's like, yeah, come and join us. So that is one of the things I will be using. And then I started thinking about it last night. No, maybe not last night. This week anyway. No, I've got other things that are kits that are currently whips. So I will show the whips that are kits, and then the kits that I've got to stitch, which will form plans for April. Not quite sure. I think I would get bored if I was just doing the Victorian Charm all month. So I do need a bit of variety, and plus I want to do my sampler book and get a bit more progress on what remains. But I think there's room potentially to work on either another whip or a new kit, or finish some of the kits I've started from March Madness as well. So you've got 2 Mill Hill kits in there. think that's it in terms of kits in the March Madness. Yeah, all the other ones are like PDFs or charts. And I just remembered I've not shown you a whip, which is my evening in the park. Let me just get that. It's a massive bag. And I've missed it. Oops. Sorry for the zipper. I can't remember where it was last time you seen it. Or which way's up. I should know which way's up because I put that on there. So this is Evening in the Park by Chatelaine. I did all that bit once, had to rip it out and start again. There's one stitch off, and because it's so symmetrical, you don't want to be off at all. I've also, this bead here should be that bead there. Oh, you can't see. This dark bead here should be there, but just it's symmetrical. I'm not taking out the bead that's in the wrong place. I've just gone for it. And this is a mixture of silks and petite treasure bead. I've made a decision to sew the beads on just with the DMC closest to the fabric, which is Vintage Country Mocha 32 count, because I couldn't get hold of the beading thread. So that's why that decision. But I am absolutely loving it. It's not been out for, yeah, it was the first week I got this out, so it's due, need to get it out again really. And I also picked up, getting old, a tip as well in terms of Q-snaps in Lowry stands. Rubber glove, and then clamp it in, and it stops it from wiggling round if you haven't got the corner clamp, which has been an excellent tip, especially with this because it's so big, and it's only due to get bigger as I progress as well. So this is 17 by 17, and I've got the extensions to take it up to a 20 by 20. It's fine for where it is now, so when I can sort of like get round. And then this is Ninja. It's a tutorial about using ninja stitches. Can't remember, it's Ninja, but I will put it down below. Just on sort of wrangling the fabric without having to get a grime guard, which was just, it was more affordable for me at that point in time. And then I've just got a bit of felt words, just to protect against the bars when I take them off. I swear I was going to say something else, but it's gone. I might rotate it round as and when I get down to like this section, rather strain to sort of work up there. I might turn it upside down and turn the pattern upside down as well, which although I bought as a PDF, I'm finding I'm printing out and highlighting just because of the way the PDF came through. That's what I was going to say. This was in a smaller Q-snap before, so the ribbons really did help, and they're still helping now. But yeah, I had significantly more fabric to try and wrangle before that. Oops. A tip with PDF charts, which I've not thought about before, is so I took a screenshot of the central, well not quite the central, but the next ring round, because I was finding it was too small and having to zoom in, and I ended up taking a screenshot and then printing that on the printer, and when it was sort of like getting to the point where it was over 2 pages, making sure the zoom was the same, but printing it over 2 pages and sticking them together like you would if you were copying a pattern. So that's been really useful. And then I've just used a pencil to mark off what I've done. It's inkjet printer, so you can't, not as easy with the highlighters. Although we have got a laser one at work, so I could use that in theory without using all the ink, so I need to be careful. Where was I? So we haven't spoken about haul, which is actually not that much of. FFOs, I need to get some frames for. March Madness we've talked about, and we need to get onto that pile of stuff over there. So in terms of haul, there was a Murano blue fabric that I got from Fabric Warehouse, and I also got a piece of 32 count Belfast raw with the silver thread through it, and that's for the Glitter Village, which I've not yet started. A couple of threads that I needed. There's mainly the blue fabric and the DMC thread that I want, but I thought I know I want to stitch it on that, so I might as well get it. So yeah, some more, just some more DMC. So 38, 65, 321, which is in that Merry Christmas, and then 3776, which I think is for the Puntini. So I need to check my notes, because I made some notes before I placed the order, otherwise I knew I'd forget. I think there might have been a couple of other threads that I've already used then. And then my threads came from Poppy Patch, which is the cottage garden threads. That's my February pack. I've not had my Lakeside delivery yet, so I've not got my Fabric of the Month Club or the Classic Colourways threads yet. So that's that. If you're in the UK, this Northampton, I always link them down below. So yeah, if you like those, that's the place. I think they've restocked everything now. This delivery's coming, although I think that was a January delivery actually, so there should be some more stock on there now. We also took a trip to Hobbycraft. I know, Hobbycraft. Anyway, my eldest wanted to go there and look at the drawing stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll pick up a couple of threads that I need that have already gone off into projects. So this is during half term. Can't remember when I placed the full warehouse order. So I was like, okay, well, I can get the sewing threads that I need to replace. They're just a Gutterman, one's a poly and one's a cotton. That's just replacing what I've used up. And I started looking at the Diamante. So the white one's actually a B52 500 in metallic, and then the other one is, there you go, D3852. I should say it's a D because it's the Diamante, but it's really got a sheen to it. Do not ask me how much I paid. All for the DMC, £1.30 for the standard DMC, which I know Lakeside have just put their price up, but yeah, they're normally 79p from there, I think, unless they've got a discount on. I'm not sure how much they are currently, but yeah, I was a bit like, yeah, okay, I need them. And I also picked up some Trimmets sequins. So these are bigger than the ones I've already got for my owl hoop, but I think the ones for my owl hoop might be too small, so we shall see. So I'll pick those up. There's another sequin. I used to love sequins. My first cross stitch had sequins on it that I made at school. Oh, and I also picked up some finger protectors for hot gluing after I'd hot glued. I didn't burn myself, but I'd seen somebody recommend them, so I was like, oh, I'll have a pack of them. Also during, actually no, it wasn't during, it's last weekend, we went to WH Smith, which is a UK shop chain, and in their clearance section, in their pencils, they had this. It was £9, it was down to £3.38 when I bought it. Sort of tag off it already, but yeah. It's a bit crinkly, the outside's nice, it's a bit like t-shirt fabric, but the zip's strong, so I'm going to use that as a project bag for something small. I thought I'd show it here first. So that was in their reduced section. I'm in the hunt now, so like pencil cases in reduced sections. Bit like makeup bags and jewellery cases is a new one to make a sewing case out of. I know Tiger Lily Designs, she's just got one that's, I think she converted it. Yeah, she converted it. And I'm blanking on your name. Kerry, sorry. Kerry. So PDF charts. So I'm going to be stitching this for a colleague. I can't remember if I showed this last time or not. And then I had a discount from the honeybee pattern that I bought. And my son's mad about donuts. You've seen the donut. So I bought that one. And then Puntini gave me a discount code to use. So I got this one I think is stitching. I haven't got the pins to go with that. And then Silver Stitch gave me a discount code as well, and this has been in my wish list for quite some time. So it's a mashup between a UK program called Red Dwarf and X-Files. So rather than I want to believe, I want to be shipwrecked and comatose. Not sure what I'm going to stitch that. It's coming out quite dark on there, but I probably would use the 32 count blue linen I've got for doing the seagulls on. So that's that one. There wasn't a cover photo on the chart for that one, hence printing out. And I obviously didn't print out the one. That is it in terms of haul. And I'll just pause for a second and get a drink. Hi, so I'm back. I just realised I've not undone the zippers on the whips that I've got. So we all know it. Dimensions Victorian charm, and this comes on a 18 count navy Ada. Yeah. With all the threads as normal. Everything in the kit. The only thing you need to supply is the scissors, which is the same for all these kits. I put mine onto a scroll frame, just quickly, which is the Elbelese one, but it's like the sew-on one. The pull one's much easier, and that is how far I've got. I know previously I've spoken about the thread shredding. A couple of tips I've picked up on that is cut it shorter, use a thread conditioner or wax, and use a bigger needle, which, yeah, makes sense, doesn't it? So I will be getting that out. I think on this one I have contemplated using beads for the random stars that you've got. I just grab the pattern again. rather than doing all the French knots. Undecided on that. As you can see, I've still got quite a way to go on this, and there's quite a few half stitches and blends. I don't mind blends, they don't bother me, as long as I'm organised with the threads, and there's already some blends in there, but it does give a good effect when you use them. Words today. I've got a couple of ones where they are kits, but I've changed the fabric. So I bought this one from Cross Stitch Kingdom off eBay, but they've got their own website, which is Darth Vader. He's not been on here very much. He came with 14 count black Ada. It's a printed chart. I decided to swap it out for a 25 count black Lugana to make it into a cushion for my son. And I gridded it with, I don't think I've got the thing here, but it's like the red like fishing line that comes on a spool. I think this is most of the stitching, that's where I got to. And when I look at it on camera, this looks really effective. So yeah, I have not worked on this year. So yeah. Now I've got the stand, I haven't really got an excuse. And I can use the ribbon to wrangle the threads as well. Fabric. We shall see, it might come out. And that came with all the threads. I'm not sure if they're Anchor or DMC, they're not labelled either way. But there's enough there to do it on a 25 count rather than the 14 count. The next one is the John Clayton kit, which is called Holly. John Clayton's Elegance, which is Holly. There's a few of these which I refer to as my fancy lady, but it's not on the same scale as Bella Filipina or Mirabilia. I swapped out the 14 count Ada that came with it into 18 count. I have barely stitched on this so far, but the coverage wise, I'm happy with the coverage. It is quite thick though. But I didn't want to do 2 strands over 14 count because I thought it's not going to look thread wise. I've not marked which way is up, but yeah, I did pick this up this year on the 1st or 2nd for the Teresa Made Me Do It sale, and then put it away. I might have got maybe more than one there, I can't remember. But, oops, I just love the reds on that. And I'm stitching that, what does it say? Yeah, they're all DMC threads that are supplied. I swapped it off what it came on. So yeah, they're all the DMCs. And I just use a key ring as thread bling. Next one is an older whip. Actually, that was from Christmas, not just gone, the one before. That's quite old, but I think this is older. Sorry, I should have warned you about the zip thing. Which is, so I got this when it was the sale, which is Hello Sunshine, which is why there's no picture. But I'm sure you've seen it on lots of other channels. Emma X Stitch and Joe from Belushi Stitches, I think, have both completed it. I could be wrong. They've done all the trees now. I've done one tree. It's on 18 count Hubble fabric. I I did pick this up last year, and I remember thinking actually it was a UFO, and it's not. It's technically it's an active rift, but I picked it up this year. It wasn't as bad to stitch on as I remember. So I did get a bit of progress on that last year. So yeah, I've got the rest of the tree to do. I think this is effectively part 1. I might be on part 2 as it was released. So yeah, that's where that one's up to. I haven't done the autumn one or the spring one. Yeah, I've only done winter and part way through summer. I won't be starting the next one until this one's done. And I guess depending on when it gets finished, I'll decide which one I want to, which season. But I will keep the fabric the same, because I will just keep them all the same, so I've got enough fabric for all of them. And I've got one as a kit, so you will see one of the other trees as well. Actually, no, I think that's something else. I think the other 2 are PDFs. Sorry, no, my stocking, Joe and Elliot's stocking. It's so close to a finish. I couldn't get it done before Christmas. It literally has beads, some silver stitches to go. I need to figure out what I'm doing with that top border. Just covered up the name. I need to finish his face. There's a bit of hair to do as well on the face there. Yeah, so there is still quite a bit to do. But I don't think I've shown this out of the Q-snap recently, so all the top bits stitched apart from this border should have been in gold, not silver, so I need to decide what I'm doing with that. It looks really amazing on camera. So this is stocking for my husband. Yeah, so we'll have 3 stockings. Yeah, pretty sure that's the way it's going. We'll have 3 stockings like that and 1 stocking going the other way, so I did buy some more stocking kits. I might redo one and flip it, but we shall see. So yeah, he just needs finishing. Really want it done. Really want it done. And then it's going to really annoy me that they're all 4 of them don't go the right way. So that's potentially a plan, as well as working on at least some of them. I'm not sure about all of them, we'll see how we go. And then in terms of things that I have as kits that I've not started, sorry, itchy nose. So I feel like this video is going to be a bit choppy, so apologies. What with the itchy nose, the drinking, the pausing, for sorting this out so I can get to the kits, which are just down on the floor here. I'll start off with nail hells. Oops. So Sony Sarah shouted me out last time on her video. She could be recording today, quite potentially, with the love stitching. So I've got love coffee as well. But thank you, Sarah, is what I meant to say there. Love, which would have been perfect for Valentine's. I'm not a big Valentine's person. They've also got love notes, as in musical notes, gardening and Halloween. So there's a few more kits. I might get the gardening one, potentially the Halloween. Going down a rabbit hole. You saw it. The winter collection, which is candy canes. And these are a mixture of Lakeside Needlecrafts here in the UK and 123 Stitch, I think. Tree shopping. Oh, there might be some Amazon ones in there as well. The lizard for my son, he would be delighted if I did that for him. There's a seagull in that one as well. No, going down that rabbit hole. The companion piece to Café Mocha, which is cappuccino. Actually, these are all kits. They come with all the beads. It comes with 2 needles in the Mill Hill kit, so a beading needle and a like normal sewing needle. The buttons, the beads. One word of warning about Mill Hill though: these threads are just tied together, so you will need to figure out which DMC number it is. It doesn't tell you how many strands of each thread you've got either. It tells you how many strands to use in the pattern, but not how many strands are in the hank, so to speak. Whereas I know some kits do that. If it comes as just like a bundle of threads rather than being on a thread hanger. So I think there was one. Yeah, the one I've just started had 2 reds very close together. I could not tell them apart. I ended up having to go and get my DMC to figure it out that way. So that is that. Halloween, or Midnight Owl. I just love the blue, like the turquoisey blue in that, and I seem to have a thing about owls recently. So that's that. Camping out, because my kids love camping, and that comes with the little dog as well in there. So you'll see this green shirt. It's my oldest Scout's shirt. So that's the end of the Mill Hills. And I've got some small, a couple of smaller ones and then some bigger ones. So this is the Heritage Textiles kit. It's like a little card, but Celtic jewel. I probably paid more than I would want to pay for it. But like I said, it's a full kit. You can make it into a card, and you can always reuse the pattern. I just like the artwork. And then this is the one I picked up when we were on Broughton on the Water. Like the Broughton basket, I want to say. I've not seen to see if you can get these somewhere else or not. It's called the Nutmeg Company. And it has got a web address on the back, which is 3dcrossstitch.co.uk, which also says it on the front. Yeah, everything you need to make that. I don't know if you might need. It's plastic canvas. That's where the support's coming from. I've not even opened that yet. So that's that. Looking through to see the size of these. Sorry, I paused again. So the sewing bookmark is also a heritage, textile heritage thing, bookmark. And then the sewing pin cushion to go with. I've already done the needle case and the can't remember, scissor fob. And then I've got a couple of like smaller, so these were out of the subscription boxes. All is Bright. Not sure if these are available to get separately now. I have got a penguin one, but I don't think I brought it down with me. And then the Halloween one, which is Autumn Lane Stitchery. I can't remember. Oh, Emma Congdon was the All Is Bright, and that came with like the bits to do it as well. Right, and then we're on to my bigger kits. I think I have got a couple more of the subscription boxes. I stopped that now, and yeah, I think probably de-stash at some point. But I know Sally was saying on her channel that some of the Instagrammers are linking to their eBay account where they're selling this stuff, so that might be an idea for me moving forward, but I'm not ready yet. I'll announce it here and on Instagram when I am. But yeah, UK shipping only probably, so apologise if you're not near me. So I've got a Lucaresque kit, which I ordered from LVK Needlecrafts, I think, and that's Lulu. And then Lolly. These are similar to Casper the Cross Stitch with the cards, and then it's a 16 count Ada. It's anchor threads in there. Just tells you all the details at the bottom. I can what skill level and things as well, which is really helpful. So I should be able to whip that out in no time. Oh dear. And then I picked up the Touch Magic Sal when it was on its second release, I think it was, and have not touched it. I also picked up, I picked up a pair of Sigmas and the cat needle minder. I think it's to get free shipping, I can't remember. But that they don't come as part of the kit normally. And they've now changed all their packaging as well. So it's all card based. So recyclable. And then Panna, I can't remember, I think I got this off Love Crafts, I could be wrong. No, Amazon. I absolutely love seeing all the oozes. And I know my Morti's finished this. Yeah, I didn't realise what looks like coloured French knots are actually beads, but it comes with everything. I haven't opened it, so I don't. It looks. I don't know. I think the threads are on a card. If you know otherwise, let me know. It does say embroidery kit, but it's cross stitch. So yeah. And then this one I picked up ages ago and still haven't done it, which is Emma Louise Designs, which is a UK designer, I think South Coast, I can't remember exactly where, Cornwall. So yeah, and that's a full kit. It comes on a thread card, and that's a 14 count Ada, and I think it's Anchor, yeah, Anchor. Yeah. I do want to do that at some point. It just, like all of these, I do want to do them. And then my big one, which I got as a, I think I got it as a present. It's just the Anchor Gold Aurora Cabin, which I've not started yet. Yeah. It's everything in the kit. 16 count Ada, but it is pretty full coverage. Yeah, I think there's like half stitches and blends and all the rest of it in there as well. Did I say Dimensions Gold or Anchor Gold? Dimensions Gold. I think Anchor did do a gold line. Yeah, I mean, so they're all the ones that I've got to stitch, with the exception of one maybe. All the other ones that I've got are either charts or PDFs that I've purchased or the freebies, but they're all the kits that I've got. So you know, whatever you want to stitch, there is definitely something out there for you, whether it be basic or advanced. There is something out there for everyone. So looking forward to seeing the hashtag up and running. I don't think it's up at the minute. I did look earlier when I was trying to get it, but it's your Get Your Kit on sale, and that'll be starting the 1st of April. In April, running the whole of April. No April Fool here. I don't know if everyone has that. Definitely a UK thing. I think America. Yeah. So yeah, 1st of April, play jokes on people basically, which I think is a Saturday this year. And I'm rambling yet again. I think I've done everything I want to. If you've watched the video this far, you like what you've seen, please like and subscribe, and tick the bell, because I'm not here. I try to do it every 2 weeks, it doesn't seem to happen at the minute. Sometimes life gets in the way, you know. And I wish you all the best, happy stitching. And I have tagged the people I've mentioned down below, so go and check them out. Thank you, bye for now.